Well, hello, class. Here we are in week 6. Would you believe it? And this is a really interesting chapter that we're going to cover this week. And it has to do with, that's chapter 9, and it has to do with staffing, training, and compensation for global operations. And one of the things that I think is really significant about this particular chapter is that it helps us to look at global management really from a holistic standpoint. And that means what type of global managers do we need? What type of staffing and training do we need? What type of compensation do we need to subsidize these individuals that deal with all different types of cultures and orientations? So we want to look at this strategically in this chapter to understand the strategic importance to the organization, the parent organization, and how that organization delves into the international human resource function, and also all of the responsibilities that are involved in that. We want to learn about what are some of the staffing options. You know, we're looking at different laws, different rules, different customs, different religions, different types of cultures when we get into global operations. So the MNC, the multinational corporation, now has to be involved depending on where they are, where they're manufacturing, where they're distributing in all of these situations. So we also want to emphasize the need for managing the performance of expatriates through careful selection, training, and compensation. We also want to discuss the role of the host country managers and the need for their training and appropriate compensation packages. Remember, someone that deals internationally and really has to have, like a conductor of an orchestra, they may not be experts in every single instrument, but they have to know how to bring it all together. They have to have a lot of emotional intelligence to really get into all of the different things that they're doing. And I think that's really important. So I want to spend the week talking about the intricate balance of looking at MNCs and all of their subsidiaries, not to talk about the finances that are involved in doing this. And, we talked about some of that in the previous chapter, in chapter 8. But I really want you to pay attention to the hyperlinks that I put up that are going to be extremely helpful throughout the week. We have case studies in this particular chapter. Kelly's assignment in Japan. We also have management in action. Starbucks Java style helps to recruit, train, and retain local managers in Beijing. And also, it's important that we understand, we talked about in the course objectives, comparative management focus about expatriate performance management practice. And they give us samples from 5 different countries. So there's a really lot to do and understand when it comes to how we look at multinational corporations in a global sense. So finally, under the lens, kind of working a little backwards here, but we look for, um, I think it's Tata's staffing challenges in the United States, and that's under staffing for global operations. And finally, the role of international human resource management and global strategic implementation. And that all has to do with staffing, which is the opening profile here, going to square one, staffing company operations in emerging markets. So really take a good hard look at this chapter. It kind of goes to the core of this particular course, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Have a great week.